Hi, I'm Mark Scarborough, and this is the YouTube channel Cooking with Bruce and Mark. And today I am making tater tot soup from Frozen in the Instant Pot. This is a recipe from our cookbook, our Instant Pot authorized cookbook, Freezer to Instant Pot. All the recipes in that book go straight from the freezer into the pot, and I'm gonna make one of the best soups. I love it so much. It's so yummy, and it's so comforting, and it's delicious, and it's tater tot soup. It's like the best baked potato soup ever. So here's how I'm gonna get started. First, I'm gonna turn my pot on saute. Here's what I need to do. I need to put ingredients in here and get them up to a steamy temperature. I'll explain why in a minute. So let me just start with what I'm doing. I have 1.5 quarts or 6 cups, or if you're counting in liters, you can just say 1.5 liters of, you can use chicken broth like I'm doing, or you can use vegetable broth if you want to make this a vegetarian soup. I'm using chicken broth because it really makes it super yummy and delicious. Okay, so to this, now my pot on saute cooking, I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons, in it goes, 2 tablespoons, or about 30 grams of butter. I'm using unsalted butter. You can use salted butter, it doesn't matter, I'll tell you why in a minute. And then I got 2 garlic cloves minced. That's about 2 teaspoons of minced garlic. Get that in there. And now here's where you can just kind of go crazy. You can flavor this tater tot soup in any way you want. So you need 2 teaspoons of some kind of dried herb. You can use thyme. I'm going to use rosemary because a friend brought me the most delicious rosemary shortbread biscuits the other day, and I've been obsessed with rosemary ever since. Okay, so I'm using rosemary. And at this point, you can also add heat if you want. And I would say up to a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. I'm not putting heat in mine, but you can put heat at this point, and then put some pepper in it. I don't know how much, half teaspoon sounds good. I don't know, just this. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let this get until it's steamy, but let me explain why there's no salt. Because there's gonna be a lot of cheese, and cheese has a lot of sodium, and you might be using salted butter. I'm not putting any salt in it because I already think the sodium load is high enough for me, but that's a personal health decision, and you can make your own personal health decisions with this. So now the wait. Wait for this to get good and steamy. I'll tell you why in a minute. I'm working with a Duo Instant Pot. Your pot may be faster, slower, but you really want this thing to be steamy, and here's why. If the liquids are room temperature, what's gonna happen is the potatoes that are gonna go in here are gonna fall to the bottom and stick. So by getting this thing way up in temperature, right close to simmering, I avoid any kind of burn notice and any kind of sticking. So here's what you wanna put in here. You ready for this? Okay, you want 1 pound or 450 grams of frozen unseasoned hash brown cubes. Bruce complains about this all the time. I have mauled the bag open. This is right out of the freezer, you'll see. Oh, in it goes. Then I want 1.25 pounds of frozen tater tots. And again, it's hot, it's steamy. So now I am ready to put this thing under pressure. So I'm going to turn off my saute function, turn on my pressure cook function, and what you want is pressure cook at high for 4 minutes. That if you have a Max machine, only for Max machines, you can do this at 3 minutes at max pressure. And then we're gonna do a quick release, and there's one more step. But oh my gosh, if you have frozen tater tots and frozen unseasoned hash brown cubes in your freezer, you can make the best baked potato soup right out of the freezer. Okay, 4 minutes to wait, then we're gonna see what happens. That sound means it's ready. It is ready to go. So this is a quick release. So I'm going to release the pressure manually. After I do that, I want to tell you a couple things before we do the next step. Okay, while the last bit of pressure is coming out, let me just tell you a couple things that I need to kind of clarify. This recipe is for a 5, 6, or 8 quart Instant Pot. If you have the 10 quart giant Instant Pot, you need to go up by 50% in all ingredients. If you have a 3-quart small Instant Pot, you need to go down by 50% of all ingredients except for the broth. Use 4 cups or a quart or a liter of broth. Everything else can go down 50% for a 3-quart pot. And 2, do you have to use branded tater tots? No, you can use any potato puffs you want. You don't have to use tater tots themselves. Potato puffs it is. I know that there are other things out there like cauliflower potato puffs, and there's millet potato puffs out there, and broccoli and cauliflower potato puffs, and sweet potato. I've never made this soup with any of those, so I don't know that it works. It might work. It seems like it would work. Remember, I said I didn't put any salt in it. Don't forget that also there's tons of sodium in tater tots, so there's lots of salt in this soup. Pressure's down. Next step. Ready? Oh, there it is. It's bubbling away. Oh, look at this. What's basically happened is that the potato tots have melted and kind of blown apart in the soup. At this point, you can stir in up to 1 cup of cream. Up to, if you want a really super creamy soup. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to add 8 ounces or 225 grams of shredded American-style cheddar cheese. And I'm using sharp cheese because I like it to be sharp cheese because I love that flavor. It's the flavor of my childhood. I love that flavor. And I'm going to put this on top of the soup. Oh, that cheese. Oh, yummy, yummy, yummy. And then once it gets in there, I'm just going to set the lid askew over the pot for a minute, 2 minutes, just to let the cheese melt a bit. Then I'm going to taste this thing. I cannot wait. Before I taste it, let me say that you can find this recipe right below me in the comments on the recipe on the YouTube channel. Look right below me. The recipe is right there with all the ingredients in both US and metric equivalents. It's all down there. And hey, rate this video or drop a comment. I would love to hear from you. Subscribe. Don't miss a single episode of Cooking with Bruce and Mark. I got a bowl. I got a spoon. I got a ladle. I'm ready to go. Now let's taste the soup. Cheese is melted a little bit. It's gotten a little thicker. This soup will actually set up thicker the longer you let it wait. I can't wait. Now, let me also say to you that you can baked potato this thing up. Now, you could dollop some sour cream on it. You could cut some chives on it. I mean, listen, you can make this thing more and more like an overstuffed baked potato. I've even tried it with a little crumbled cooked sausage on top of it. It's not vegetarian anymore, but it is delicious. And oh my gosh, here we go. It seems hot, but here we go. Instant comfort. Instant, beautiful potato soup, silky. Those potatoes have thickened the soup, the tater tots, as they blew apart under pressure. They've thickened the soup. It's plenty salty with no salt added. It is plenty salty as it is. It is just unbelievable. You know what? I'm going to take this up to bed and be alone with it. But in the meantime, come back for another video from either Bruce or me on Cooking with Bruce and Mark.